First shots with the Dream rifle build. It's not done yet, but it is a working rifle at this point. Let's see if it blows up on me or if it runs. Well. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. I'm pretty excited today. We had to skip a week on the build series because I was waiting to get the muzzle device pinned and welded to the barrel. 14.5 inches. Legally, it has to get to that 16-inch mark for the ATF to call it a rifle, so that you can put a stock on it without having to SBR the thing. Gun laws are ridiculous, but it is what it is, especially if you're going to show your stuff on YouTube. But I'm really excited to bring you guys this week's episode because we are approaching our final form on the Dream Rifle build series. But don't worry, there are episodes yet to come because we're not quite there yet. But I have taken it out, I have shot it. It does run. It's going to need a little break-in period, I think. Maybe a little tuning, we'll see. But make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes of this build series or anything else that I put out. And let's get started. ADM ambi lower receiver. Pretty nice. So if you're just joining us now, this is what I've been calling the Dream Rifle build. I like to do build series on this channel. I've done a number of them so far, but this has been my favorite one yet. I'm going to update you guys real quick on where we are so far, just in case you haven't seen the previous episodes. We've got an ADM UIC ambi lower receiver, the Geissele SDE trigger, Radian Talon ambidextrous safety, Volter MUR upper receiver. Of course, I've got the FCD EPC. Got a BCM bolt carrier group, Radian Raptor charging handle, Geissele buffer tube with the Geissele Super 42 spring and an H2 buffer, B5 Systems Bravo stock Type 22P grip. I've got the EOTech and OD green on top. This is a Geissele Mark 8 handguard, again OD green. And where we left off in the last episode was I had gotten a Roscoe barrel, but I didn't install it yet because I had to pin and weld the muzzle device and a BCM gas block. Well, we got the barrel installed. The muzzle device is pinned and welded. You can see that maybe right there, but it was done by a good friend of mine and he did a really great job. You can almost hardly tell that it's there. But I watched the whole process. It was an interesting thing to see how it's done. Because I like to learn everything about building guns. And that is part of it in our America, in the world that we live in, with the gun laws that we live in. But we've got some new stuff we added to it today. I'm going to go up close and show you guys what we've done and where we're at, because we do have a working rifle at this point. So we're having a few hiccups, which is to be expected with a new build. Let's see if she'll go this time. Okay, it's working better. So here is the Dream rifle in all of its glory so far, but I'm going to show you what's new. So we did get the Roscoe barrel installed. I really like Roscoe barrels. I used a Roscoe barrel in my 300 Blackout build, and it's been fantastic. So I decided to go with Roscoe again for this one. Got a silencer coat ASR suppressor mount 3-prong flash hider. The cool thing about this flash hider, besides being that it is a QD for suppressors, which this gun will be suppressed for sure eventually. Haven't picked out a can for it yet. But also that the 3 prongs are 3 different lengths, which lets you avoid that tuning fork ring that you get with some 3 and 4 prong flash hiders. So that's really nice. You can see right there where the pin and weld was done. And I'll show, there's going to be a little bit of footage in this video of that process. But it is a cool process, you know. You use a drill press and drill through the muzzle device, which is very hardened steel. It wore out the first drill bit. We needed to use 2 of them. And then you take a little bit bigger bit and make a divot in it for your weld to sit in. And then you drill into the barrel itself, torque this thing on, weld it, grind it down, a little bit of file work afterward, and then put a little black paint on there just to kind of make it disappear. And I think it looks great. It was done by a good friend of mine, Kalen. Thank you, Kalen, for the pin and weld job. I really, really appreciate it. Kalen's done some awesome work. He ported a friend of mine's Springfield Prodigy, and that thing shoots super flat now. We'll see. Maybe I'll have to get that done to my own one. But besides the barrel and the muzzle device getting pinned and welded, I decided to use an Emissary hand stop on this build. I've seen these for a long time. I think they look great. They had an OD green one that matched my build. And because I use this rifle with a C-clamp kind of grip anyway, I don't like hold the vertical foregrip like a broom handle. I always just use it as a hand stop anyway. I thought this would be a great way to go. It's got really good texture on it. I like the angles. It's extremely comfortable to grip. And you guys might notice the light on here. So I went with a truly mid-tier light setup. I did a lot of research before I chose which light I was going to use. It was going to be between Modlite, Surefire, or Cloud Defensive. None of them are cheap, but they're known for being really good. So I went with Modlite. Part of the reason was because they had a green version. This is their moss green color. And yes, I'm kind of getting the 50 shades of OD green on this. I know it doesn't quite match, but that doesn't bother me one bit. And then with Modlite, you have a choice of heads. They have a PLH V2, which is the one that I went with, or an OKW head. The OKW has a little bit less lumens, but more candela. So you can reach out farther with it, but it's more of like a beam. I wanted a little more spill for my uses. I'd like to be able to see what's going on around me a little more. So I went with the PLH V2, which has higher lumen count, but a little bit less candela. This light is extremely powerful though. It's dual fuel. They've got a rechargeable battery that comes with it, but you can also run CR123s. It's an 18650 body. So that gives you a little bit longer run time, more power, which is really nice. And then to set the whole thing up with a light like this, the light itself, you're going to spend over $300 on. And then for the mount, the tail cap and the switch is like another $200. It is not a cheap setup for this light. I'm used to buying like stream lights where you get everything in one for $150. Well, that is not the case with an actual, good light setup. And nothing against Streamlight. I've been very happy with them, but this is a much higher quality setup. So this is a Surefire tail cap. This is the UE tail cap. They also have a DS00 tail cap where you can have a clicky tail cap and your tape switch on it. But again, that was even more money. And I've always just run the pressure pad, the tape switch, whatever you want to call it anyway. So I went with the UE tail cap and then the Modlite mod button, which you can see right here. And I love that it doesn't take up so much rail space. That's something I've ran into on some of my shorter builds where I can't even run a backup iron sight because the switch for my light takes up so much space. This one is nice and minimalistic, but I set it up right where my thumb ends up when I'm clamping my rail here with a C-clamp grip. And of course, I used an Arisaka mount, but instead of the offset mount this time, I used the inline mount because this Geissele Mark 8 handguard has M-lock at these offset positions as well. So I decided to utilize that and get it in closer to the rail that way. And I think that it worked out really, really well. I think it's really slick. It's nice and tight in there. It looks fantastic. And it works great. We're going to go back up top and I'm going to show you guys what the output on this light looks like. So we had a few hiccups with the first mag. Again, like I said, to be expected. We got a lot of tight tolerances, different brands. I'm sure there's probably going to be a little bit of a break-in period. But it started running pretty good toward the end of that, so let's see how she does. So again, you can see that the way I have this set up with the Emissary handbrake and the mod button, it is very easy and natural to actuate the light with my thumb when I've got a good firing grip on my rifle. This is the way I like to set them up. And let's see how this light output actually looks. So a few things that I love. Seems to be very accurate. The recoil impulse is nice with that mid-length gas system. Got to figure out what the issues are though, but we'll get it figured out. So I've turned off the lights that I have at my camera set up. I'm about to turn off the overhead lights in the studio and just give you guys a little bit of a glimpse of what the Modlite PLH V2 output looks like. So here you see this light is extremely bright. It's got a very, very powerful hotspot, but then it also has a decent amount of spill, which was important to me. It's a very satisfying feeling when you build a rifle totally yourself and it runs and it doesn't blow up on you. Well, it didn't blow up on me. It's running okay. I wouldn't call it reliable yet, but we can work on that. Back. So I know that was just inside the studio showing the performance of this light, which is not the same as what you could see if I was showing it outside. And hopefully I'll be able to get this out and do some night shooting, and we can get some decent footage with that. I've only got this out to the range once. I'm going to take it out again this weekend, hopefully. Do a little bit more testing on it, see if I can get it running perfectly reliably. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to. I had some issues with my 300 blackout recently. Fixed them, it runs great. I'm sure I'll get this one running the same way. But I hope you guys are liking the way that the build is turning out so far. I'm extremely happy with this rifle. I think that it just looks fantastic. It's all really good, high quality parts. And like I said, we're not quite done yet. I still need to get a sling for it, and I'm having trouble deciding which sling to go with. So if you have any good recommendations on slings that you like, drop it in the comments, let me know, and I'll take a look at those because I haven't made that decision yet. I do think I want to put this EOTech on a Unity riser. All my other optics are about this same optic height, but I think I want to try the, the riser height and see if I like it. Especially because I do plan on putting a G43 magnifier behind it at some point. And I kind of want to use that Unity flip to center mount for that as well. So we still have that stuff to look forward to. Not sure how quickly I'm going to get all those things. Sling, yeah, that's pretty easy. Unity riser for the EOTech, also probably pretty easy. The actual magnifier and the Unity flip to center mount, those are both very expensive products, and I have already spent way more money on this than I really planned to. So we'll see when I can budget that in, but I promise you I will be bringing those episodes. Let me know what you think about this rifle so far. Let me know what you would use to build your own dream rifle build. Tell me what your experience with Modlite has been, or Cloud Defensive, Surefire. Let me know what your favorite light setup is. I love to interact with you guys and I answer every comment. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical, hit that notification bell, share this video if you can with anybody that you think would enjoy this type of content. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.